So now, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off today's conference, it is my great pleasure to invite to the podium the first Vice Minister, His Excellency Park Kisun of the Ministry of Economy and Finance, Republic of Korea. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
G20 글로벌 금융안정.
Distinguished guests from home and abroad, good morning everyone. I am Park Kisun, First Vice Minister of Economy and Finance. I'd like to express my sincere welcome to the attendees on site as well as those joining us on YouTube. In addition, I would like to thank Acting President Youngsun of KDI, the co-host of the conference, Vice Chairman of FSC Kim Soyoung, and Professor Morris Opsfeld at UC Berkeley, the keynote speaker, and Chief Economist and Head of Research at BIS, Mr. Youngsun. And a big thank you to all of the moderators, presenters, and discussants. Distinguished guests, the unrest in the global financial market, such as the strong dollar and capital outflows from emerging countries that we're experiencing today, reminds us of Mark Twain's words. History never repeats itself, but it does often rhyme. The 1997 Asian financial crisis and the 2008 global financial crisis were caused by the inherent vulnerability of the financial market itself, whereas the recent global financial market unrest originated from the real sector shocks such as supply chain disruption due to the pandemic, reorganization of supply structure in accordance with the global economic blocs, and soaring raw material prices caused by geopolitical risks such as the war. In addition, unrest in the financial market, which has spread from the real sector, can again become a burden on the real economy anytime, leading to a vicious cycle. Nevertheless, the policy options each country has is very limited. The aggressive monetary tightening in response to inflation increases concerns about an economic recession and the suffering of economic actors, and at the same time, it can act as a destabilizing factor in the global economy as it coincides with the emerging countries' high debt level, which has come about in their effort to overcome the pandemic. Therefore, policy coordination among countries for global financial stability is more necessary than ever. The current G20 system was launched for the recovery of global financial stability and international cooperation without leaks that we desperately needed. In the past, the G20 has proven its reason for being by providing pivotal leadership in the unprecedented global financial crisis that was difficult to solve with the efforts of individual countries alone. In the course of responding to the recent pandemic, the G20 also reached an agreement for shared prosperity, such as providing debt relief to low-income countries and establishing financial intermediary fund to strengthen global strength. However, in today's world where trust based on mutual benefit is weakening and every nation is putting their interests first, we must together deal with the inflation that we see for the first time in 40 years. If we recall that the past history of global financial stability has been a process of multilateral cooperation, as Professor Opsfeld emphasized, it is time for the G20 to replace words with deeds on trade, and it will really matter. Until now, the G20 has presented concrete solutions to every crisis in the global economy. However, this is not the result of the hard work of the G20 government officials alone. This was the result of intense discussions that took place among experts from the government, academia, and international organizations based on the in-depth research of leading scholars. In this regard, I expect that the Global Financial Stability Conference today will faithfully discuss concrete measures for multilateral cooperation for global financial stability and for creating a sound international financial architecture. We will be all ears throughout the conference and the discussions today, and we will do our best to make sure that your valuable suggestions and ideas may be fully realized in the domestic and international society. The Korean government is aware of the current situation, and we are strengthening market monitoring, and we are looking at the measures that are in place, and we will try to be compliant with the global standards in the financial market. And we would like your attention and interest. Thank you very much.
Vice Minister for covering the importance of today's conference opening as doors with his kind words. Thank you very much once again. Now we'll have the opening address from the acting president, Youngsun of KDI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a warm round of applause to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I am Youngsun, the acting president of KDI. A warm welcome to the distinguished guests attending the 2022 G20 Global Financial Stability Conference, both online and offline. In particular, I would like to express my gratitude to Vice Minister of Economy and Finance, Kisun, who worked hard to prepare for this conference. I'd also like to thank Professor Morris Opsfeld for the keynote speech, and also the moderators, presenters, and panelists for your hard work. Recently, the global economy is facing a complex crisis fueled by soaring prices of energy, raw materials, and food. Global inflation is putting a great strain on the world economy, which has been recovering from the pandemic. In addition, there is a risk that the strategic competition between the US and China could intensify even further. In the international financial market, things are not looking bright either. The Fed's tightening stance has sucked the global liquidity out of rest of the world, including emerging markets, and is flowing back into the US. And in this process, most countries are experiencing currency depreciation, increased asset price volatility, and rising market interest rates. In particular, the situation is not good for some countries whose external health has deteriorated due to the pandemic shock. In these fragile countries, a sense of crisis is growing due to a sharp increase in international interest rates. Now, the global economy is facing the challenge of stabilizing financial markets while recovering growth. To do this, cooperation between countries is essential. At every crisis in the past, the G20 summit has been seeking and implementing international cooperation measures for the recovery of the global economy and stability of the international financial market. This year's G20 Finance Ministers meeting and Central Bank Governors meeting have undertaken important cooperative tasks to address the current challenges. To preemptively respond to future pandemics, the World Bank has established the Financial Intermediary Fund, prepared a common framework for emergency financial support and debt restructuring for vulnerable countries, and reviewed the IMF institutional view related to CFMs to strengthen the global financial safety net. Today's G20 Global Financial Stability Conference is a meaningful opportunity to explore ways to achieve balanced global economic growth and international financial stability in the midst of a complex global economic crisis, and to contribute to resolving vulnerabilities and improving resilience of troubled countries. Furthermore, I hope that this event will serve as a useful forum for looking ahead into the future, for changes to come, and turning the crisis into an opportunity. As the conference and the G20 International Financial Architecture Working Group meeting are held back-to-back, it will prove to be a valuable time for many of us, as we can hear from so many G20 government and international organization officials. I would like to express my deepest gratitude once again to the policymakers, international organization representatives, and academic experts for joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for preparing such a meaningful place to share insights on the changing global international market and to discuss countermeasures for the future. Thank you very much. And we can't miss the congratulatory message to open the conference. So today we'll have the Vice Chairman Kim Soyoung of Financial Services Commission. Let us welcome Kim Soyoung with a big round of applause to the podium.
안녕하세요.
Distinguished guests, my name is Soyoung. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Financial Services Commission. I would like to begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to all of you on the opening of the G20 Global Financial Stability Conference. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Vice Minister Bang of the Ministry of Economy and Finance, as well as all the representatives of the Ministry and KDI. Of course, I would also like to thank Acting President Youngsun of KDI and Professor Morris Ofsfeld, who will be our keynote speaker today, as well as Dr. Shin Hyun Song, Charles Engel, and Ein Kogel. There are so many distinguished speakers and professors who are here with us today, so it is difficult for me to keep track of all of them and take this opportunity to thank them all in turn. But it would be remiss of me to not do so. So I would like to thank you all and welcome to this conference. The G20 Global Conference was first held in 2013. It is now on its 8th year. I remember participating at this conference as a member of the academia until last year, and I have always emphasized the importance of the stability of global financial markets and the establishment of an international financial system that can support this stability. This year, I find it especially meaningful that I am participating at this conference as someone who is responsible for financial policies. Until last year, the global economy saw a speedy recovery thanks to the active policy responses of various governments and the supply of vaccines as we fought to overcome COVID-19. However, the massively expanded liquidity and increased debt levels, along with the rise in asset prices, have been factors compounding instability in the global economy. The various lockdown measures because of COVID-19 and the supply chain disruptions and rise in commodity prices because of the Ukrainian war are leading to a phenomenon of global inflation. The acceleration of monetary tightening by major economies in response to this development is leading to the issue of a possible global recession and debt repayment risks by vulnerable members of the population and low-income countries. The rapid developments in digital assets and the actual risks posed by climate change that are bringing changes to the financial environment are also issues that we must preemptively review. The G20 summit was upgraded to a summit-level meeting following the 2008 GFC and has since then played a pivotal role in responding to the Eurozone fiscal crisis and the COVID-19 response. Going forward, the G20 system will continue to share understanding on trends in the global economy and risk factors, while also playing an important role in contributing to the sustainable growth of the global economy and stability in the international financial markets. We must thoroughly take stock of how global tightening will impact low-income countries and the repayment debt of vulnerable members of the population, as well as any spillover effects into the international financial markets, and we must explore ways to strengthen the international financial system to respond to these issues. If we consider how digital assets are inherently cross-border in nature, countries must coordinate policies to respond to the effects that expansion of digital assets will have on the international financial markets and financial stability as a whole, and we must engage in various discussions and conversations on this topic. In the process, we must also closely cooperate with the IMF, the World Bank, and other international financial organizations, as well as experts from the private sector. At this conference today, we'll be discussing how accelerating monetary tightening in major economies will pose risk factors for the global economy, as well as the role and any measures to complement the post-COVID global financial safety net, changes to the global financial environment, and the newly developed international financial system. When we consider the current situation of the global economy, I believe this conference is discussing a very timely and urgent topic. Through this conference, I hope there will be many rational and actionable measures that will come out to enhance the stability of the global economy and international financial markets, while also strengthening the international financial system through the G20. I also hope that the different measures that are proposed today can be specified into actionable policy alternatives. Once again, I would like to thank all the organizers for preparing for this conference, and again, my heartfelt congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairman, for enriching today's opening ceremony by making your way here. Thank you so much. And also, in addition, we would like to give our deepest gratitude to all our participants for sharing your valuable time to attend in this conference.